Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi Show. Peter, you. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about rethinking the belt system, the whole system, all of it.
Yeah, so
Change it up.
one of the earliest episodes we did was about the belt system.
Yeah,
What each of the belts means and everything.
yeah.
But now you want to propose a whole new system,
Not that
rethinking.
different. Yeah, I want to rethink it. I want to kind of throw some ideas out there for people to kind of
Uh,
rethink it a little bit, because the current, every school has their own path, every way. Some schools do stripes, some schools don't do stripes, and I kind of have a lot of ideas about this.
so let's start with the motivation. Like, well, what prompted you to rethink the belt system? Is it some problems?
So there are always some kind of problems, right?
Yeah,
I think the most important thing whenever you read any martial arts business related book, they say
yeah.
every dojo should
Mm-hmm.
have a clear path to black belt. That's laid
Mm-hmm.
out. How do you achieve a black belt in the school? And I know for a fact in my dojo, there is definitely not a clear path to black belt. It's like, just keep doing it. And then one day it'll happen, and some people don't operate that way.
So
There's
what's example of a clear path?
clear path, for instance, like if you have a curriculum that says, hey, after this many months of time in
Mhm.
grade, then you immediately promote up and then you could kind of extrapolate out, right? Okay, it takes
Yeah.
3 months for the first belt, 3 months for the second belt, 6 months for the third belt, 6 months for the fourth belt, et cetera, et cetera. So like, all right, theoretically, if I keep training for 3 years, I could get a belt, brown belt. Theoretically, if I train for 5 years, I could get a black belt, right?
So
That
does it
sort of a thing.
include not just the time requirements, but like skill requirements too? Like you should know what to do, or you should be able to beat these people or something like that?
So this is the thing, right? Every school has a different path,
Yeah.
and I know for a fact, like a lot of Taekwondo schools have
Mhm.
attendance based, time based. Okay. So you have to
Mhm.
have this many classes under your belt. You have to have this much time in the grade. And then
Mhm.
there's a skills test, a skills requirement. So you have to
Yeah.
demonstrate that you know the thing, and then you could take that test and pass, right? So it's really like a college degree. You take
Mhm.
these courses and then you specialize in one or two things. And then, 4 years, 16 credits per semester, you got a degree kind of, right?
So why do we want them? Want this
I'm
type
I'm
of
not saying we
clear path?
want it. I'm not saying
Oh,
we want
okay.
it. I'm not like for that kind of a curriculum, but I think
Uh-huh.
some people need that. And
I
for those
see.
people who need that, your dojo should have it,
Uh-huh.
right? So you could
Right,
take,
right.
and you hear this all the time, right? There's a competition path and a non-competitive.
Yeah.
And some of these schools have that kind of a idea. It's two separate paths going towards the same goal.
Mm.
And mostly majority for my dojo is sort of merit-based system of like, all right, who's better than what? Like it's kind of subjective, but that has scaling issues too, because after you have over 100 students, it's very difficult to keep track of everyone's skill set.
Right.
You'll see somebody for a few weeks or a few months. Now you have no idea how good they are. When did that guy join? Like, unless you keep like meticulous attendance.
So what's the we kind of got sidetracked with the, how a lot of books say dojos have to have a clear path to a black belt. But
Yeah.
so what is a problem you in particular see right now? Like why do you feel the need to rethink the system?
Well, so it depends on because every school is different.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, yes, there's a certain belt, right? Judo, it's like white, yellow, orange, green, purple, brown, black, right? That's for
Mm-hmm.
kids,
Yeah.
And then for adults, like white, yellow, green, brown, black,
Yeah.
you know? And that's kind of it.
Mm.
It's sort of unified, but it's not really unified. Everyone kind of does what they want to do. They have half
Yeah.
belts, stripes, this and that. Everybody's a little bit,
Uh-huh.
so there's no real problem.
That's
But the problem is, right, there's certain people that kind of fall through the cracks within the system that doesn't make the martial arts sticky enough.
mm.
You know
Do you
what I
see a
mean?
lot of them?
I mean, yes, right? Because if there's too much time between the ranks,
Yeah.
people get discouraged. And some people are motivated by achieving those milestones. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right.
And some people don't care about it as much. Obviously, if you're taking a competitive path
Uh-huh.
and you're sort of on that cusp, you know what I mean? Like, let's say like you're doing jujitsu and you're a blue belt, right?
Yeah.
If you've been doing jujitsu for 10 years and you're a blue belt, you're a candidate to win masters, not masters, but like a world championships or Pan Ams, right? Because
Yeah.
people hold themselves back in order to
Yeah.
achieve those accolades,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So people are much more likely to not get promoted in order to gain
Yeah,
these titles.
right. So, but then, so in judo, you're saying there isn't one, but some people need this quick, like, feedback, you're saying?
Yes. So I'm kind of like proposing here, right? Like just a
Mm,
scattered nature of judo's rank system
mm,
and how a lot of it is unrelatable. You know what I
yeah.
mean? From school to school, it means completely different things. And when you say I'm a jiu-jitsu purple belt, it means something. When you say you're a jiu-jitsu blue belt, it kind of means something.
Mm,
You know, when you
mm-hmm.
say like I'm an orange belt in judo, what does that even mean? No one knows what that means. Does that mean you've
I
been
see
doing
what you
judo for
mean.
a year? Does that mean you compete? It literally means nothing because some schools have orange belts for adults, some schools don't.
I guess in a way, it's probably my take on that is that because judo, competitive judo, I guess, in a way, works in almost like a, I mean, it is an Olympic sport, so there's no like, oh, blue belt, green belt, world champion or anything like that.
No.
Everyone who can compete, and then, right?
Yes.
So
So the current system
yeah,
isn't designed to support competitive judo as well because, right? Like I said, in jiu-jitsu, there's white, blue, purple, brown,
right,
black. There's a blue belt world championships, purple belt world
yeah,
championships, brown belt Pan Ams, master black belt, freaking M3,
right,
lightweight, world championships, all these different things, right? And you kind of know where everything is. It falls into a nice, neat structure.
uh,
Judo, you never know, right? You've been doing judo since you're a kid. You go through all the ranks: white, half yellow,
yeah,
half orange, orange, green, all this stuff. And now all of a sudden, you're like 16 years old. You've been doing judo since you're a little kid. You're a purple belt. Right? You go into an adult novice tournament and smoke everyone.
right, right,
You know what I mean? Like that brown belt that's been doing judo for 15 years versus, a brown belt at a school that says, okay, 3 months to green belt, yellow belt, 6 months to green belt, 6 months to brown belt. And then the guy's been doing, he's a brown belt in under 2 years. That
mm.
brown belt versus that kid that's been doing judo, of course, it just doesn't match up.
So
And
yeah, okay, I kind of see what you're saying. So what's the let's let's hear about your proposed system,
yeah, it's not
and
even
then
a
we'll talk
solution.
about
It's
it.
just a
Yeah,
fucking idea that
yeah,
solves nothing. But it's just, I'm just throwing it out there for my people
yeah.
because I
Maybe
think it's
we'll
very
spur some
interesting.
discussion, and
Yes, there
maybe
we
we can
go.
come up with a better system together. Yeah,
Yes. Okay. So my idea, right?
yeah.
White belts to the next rank, white and yellow belts, stripes all the way.
What does that mean?
It's 4 stripes. White belts get stripes, yellow belts get stripes.
Uh,
Okay, a lot of schools are doing this now in jiu-jitsu too. White belts get stripes, blue, purple, brown, they don't get stripes. Some schools do that, right? Some schools just do like stripes all across, right? When you get 4 stripes, you get
oh,
right
I
down.
see, I see, I see. So
Yes,
you
yes.
subdivide the white belt and the yellow belt.
Yes, but these are quick. These are quick.
Quick.
It
Okay.
could be 3 months. It's just like straight up time, you get a stripe.
Mm,
Or merit based. So you kind of have both of those things going on at the
yeah.
same time. You throw somebody, you do a technique really good. Hey, I just want to recognize that this person did an amazing job with the technique of the day. It's very advanced technique. He was able to do it. Here's a stripe. Bang. Whoa. And it plays to human nature, right? The
I see.
psychological reward system. If you're getting rewarded every single time on the clock, every week on Friday, it doesn't mean as much, right? And every single psychology textbook says, like, these random of rewards. Sometimes you
Hmm.
get it, sometimes you don't get it. So these are the things that trigger that,
Hmm.
Pavlovian response or something.
I heard that a lot in dog training too.
Yes,
Randomize the
dog training.
reward. Yeah.
Yes, if they sit every time, you give them a treat every time. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
you got to
it
randomize the reward.
anticipates. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there's two components playing at once. There's time, of course,
Yeah.
right? And you could rush them too. You could do like 2 months, 1 month, whatever you want
Yeah.
to do, you could do, right? But it's a quick stripe. You're always getting stripes. You blow them through white and yellow belt, straight to green, essentially. That's the
Right.
path, right? It's quick. You're advancing really fast. White, yellow, green. It means something for judo. Those are the 3 initial ranks.
Hmm.
Kicking orange out. Orange is the worst belt at all. We do not need orange.
Okay.
So beginner judo is white, yellow, green. Done.
Oh, and the only white yellow are have
Stripes.
stripes.
You
Okay.
can do green also. I don't
Okay.
care. Do whatever
But
you
the
want.
key is it's quick stripes randomized.
Quick stripes randomized between time and merit.
Okay.
Hey guys, this guy just lost his job. But he's still coming every day. Hey, this guy tweaked his shoulder. He's still training. He's still in the room. He's engaged. I gotta
Yeah.
reward him. Here's a stripe. Right?
All
So
right.
now it's not just time. It's not just showing up. You show
Okay.
up, maybe doing something good. It shows the student that the teacher's watching, right?
Yeah.
And everybody likes to be little recognition. We don't need
Yeah.
to do a belt ceremony. I freaking hate belt ceremony. We'll talk about that a little later.
Okay. All right.
So white, yellow, green, beginner judo.
Yeah.
Now, after green, blue, purple, brown,
Okay.
intermediate judo.
Okay.
Blue, purple, brown. And this is what we're going to do here. Blue, purple, brown means something in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
'Cause it goes
Okay.
white, blue, purple, right?
Uh-huh.
And jiu-jitsu did this. They're like, yellow, orange, green, let's get rid of it. We'll just go right to blue.
Uh-huh.
And I know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they have kids ranks, right? They have white, gray, yellow, orange, right? All this stuff, right?
Oh,
For
and then
adults,
it's blue.
White, blue, purple,
Yeah.
brown, black. So intermediate judo, blue, purple, brown means something,
Okay.
right? So when people are online say, hey, I'm a blue belt, that means something. I'm a blue belt in judo, should have the same feel as a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. It's
Jiu-jitsu.
an intermediate rank.
Okay.
Right? Purple belt. I'm a purple belt in judo. It means something. You're an intermediate rank. We don't need stripes at this point. You know what I mean? Then we could have an intermediate division.
I see.
Beginner
That
tournaments.
encompasses blue, purple, brown.
Yes. So there's branding with those colors on the belts.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We have to ride that. You see, because
Uh-huh.
jiu-jitsu's, I think it's like a 5 to 7 time multiplier in terms of sheer number of people who are doing jiu-jitsu versus judo.
In
5 to
America.
7 times more. If you take the average jiu-jitsu school size versus the average judo school size, you multiply it by 5 to 7, that's approximately how it's going.
Yeah.
Number of competitors in competition, number of people who are on Reddit. You know,
Yeah.
judo Reddit versus jiu-jitsu Reddit. Jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
Reddit is probably,
It's
I think
bigger.
it's like 7 times bigger. 7 times bigger in terms of the number of active people who are on there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well, I don't know exactly, but yeah, that sounds about right. Well,
It sounds about
BJJ is definitely bigger in English speaking countries.
Without
Yeah.
in America.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And maybe even in England. I don't know what it's like in England.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not from there. You know, I'm not British. You know? So this is the thing, right? I mean, yeah, judo comes first and all this, but they're doing something right. They have a blue belt world championships, purple belt Pan Am and all this stuff. So let's ride the coattails of their branding a little bit. You know what I mean? What belt are you in judo? I'm a blue belt.
So
okay, cool. That means something to the jiu-jitsu community. How many people do you know at work who, if you do judo, who do jiu-jitsu? Right? For every one guy that's doing judo in your workplace, there's probably 4 or 5 to 7, right? Based on my multiplier, based on my math. Right? This is completely made up and not scientific, by the way.
Right? Well, let's say that for the sake of the argument. I mean, the point is that there are more people who do BJJ than judo.
Yes.
So, okay, so that's intermediate. They all compete together. Okay, and then what comes next?
Black belt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But this is my next proposal with the USJF, USJ, USJI. It's very, very difficult to do it through the organization. I'm going to propose, like, if you of a certain rank, you should be able to promote anybody up to that rank, at least minimum first degree black belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because dojo black belt should mean something. You know, some people don't want to take that path of like doing the paperwork and this and that and all the, you know, the dog and pony show, you know?
I remember Korea was like that. And Shodan was just like, whatever, like the gym owner would be like, okay, you're good enough. And then he just files the paperwork and then you'll be approved.
Yeah, that's how it should be, I think. You know, of course, we don't want to like water down the judo black belt. You know what I mean? But if we're if everyone across the board is consistent about doing white, yellow, green with stripes in between, and then blue, purple, brown is intermediate, and then a judo black belt is, you know, minimum time and grade or whatever it is, right? Now we're talking, okay, the average judo practitioner is going to be pretty good, right?
Right. And then what else?
I mean, that's the majority of it, you know?
Okay.
So we're sort of playing this path, you know? Once you get to intermediate, I think you should be able to choose the path that you want as a student as well. You know, do you want to take a time-based path? Do you want to take an attendance-based path? Do you want to take a merit-based path, or do you want to take like a competition-based path? Because like some people, you know, have different ways to go about it. You know, if you're like 50 years old and there is no master's division, you know, and you have knee injuries and you're just happy to be in the room and you don't really, you know, care much about belt, then they'll just keep showing up anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
The idea is for these ranking systems to keep people in the sport long enough to achieve some level of proficiency. and that proficiency is represented by the black belt. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
we shouldn't have to jump through hoops and sit in front of a committee, a promotional committee, even though I'm on that promotional committee in the Hudson region. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of this stuff is pretty, you know what I mean? It's the classic argument, like in politics, big government versus small government. You know how I feel about, small
Yeah.
governments, right? Or versus, right? You know what I mean? Like meddle less with us. Let us do more. I mean, bring the power back to us. We don't need to be part of this freaking. I mean, let me not get down that path because it's going to get a little bit nuts in here because we all know where Peter stands on these kinds of issues.
Where do I stand? I haven't said anything about this. Well,
Yeah.
okay, so I got the idea. So just to recap, it's like 3 categories of belts. I guess the beginner belts, white, yellow, green, or whatever. Quick
Yeah.
succession, stripe based, like boom, boom, boom. Like you
Boom,
get
boom, boom,
quick
yeah.
awards, randomized, whatever. Intermediate belts, blue, purple, brown.
Yeah.
You're saying bring up kind of like make them mean something, just like
Yeah.
how they are in BJJ.
Yeah.
And I think I have some questions about that. And then black, like at least the earlier black belts like Shodan, maybe
Yeah.
Shodan,
I think we
just
should
like
all be able to just
yeah,
give
that
out,
should be very easy. Which okay, yeah,
especially if you're a sick degree like me. I should be
yeah,
able to give up to a certain rank without even having to deal with these people.
right, right. All right, so I think I mostly agree with the beginner in black, but I'm just curious what you mean by that. Like, I wonder, like, how BJJ was able to establish some standards. I guess I don't know. I don't even know. Like you said, like if I hear, oh, someone's a blue belt, someone's a purple belt, someone's a brown belt in BJJ, I have an idea of like how good their BJJ will be. Yes, but I don't know how that came about, and I also don't know how you would actually make that happen in judo. What would those mean?
I mean, it's kind of similar, like for most jujitsu schools, right? They do stripes within the belt.
Yeah,
That's why they
yeah,
have that
yeah.
black bar on the belt. I mean, you
Right.
have a white belt, you do 4 stripes, and then, to get a stripe, what do they do promotions? Every 6 months, usually?
I have no idea. Yeah,
They usually do every
yeah,
6 months. Some schools do it a little bit shorter period of time, but at least takes a year or 2 to get the blue belt.
yeah.
I mean, then it's another year or 2 to get the purple belt. And then so, average amount of time in grade, and then the belt stripes comes intermittently enough to know, like,
That
I'm
you're.
about to get one of them, right?
I guess.
So,
Yeah, I guess that's how I know. Like, I know that like it takes like 1 or 2 years to get a blue belt,
yeah,
and then what, like after that 3 more years to get a purple belt. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like, I think purple belt's like 5 years, but this is the thing, right? 4 to 5. But this is the thing, right? Nuance is very easy to get proficient at.
Yeah,
I mean, I shouldn't say easy, right? But you spend 2-3 years just training groundwork, you get pretty good on the ground. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So like, all right, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 2 years, going 3 days a week. And then, every school has sort of a attendance-based system as
Yeah,
well, right? How many classes does this person
yeah,
go into? And then you kind of really know, and people don't really deviate, right? Unless you're like really, really unathletic where you're going every
yeah,
single day, just terrible for 10 years straight. Or unless you're like a super athlete where,
yeah,
you just like can pick it up so much faster than everyone
right.
else. Most people fall in that bell curve.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
2 standard deviations, right? Is
yeah.
that right, Peter? Am I correct on the math?
Usually there's a 1 standard deviation each side. Well, yeah,
You're a
sure.
much
Yeah.
better Asian than I am.
Well, it's like what 60 something percent falls within 1 standard.
67.5 or something.
Yeah, it's
What
all
about two standard deviations?
then goes to like 90 something. I don't remember.
Shame on you, Peter. Shame on you for not knowing that. I don't know it, but shame on you for even more.
But so okay, so you're like, yeah. So I think that that's how they do it. It's like if this type of athleticism follows the normal distribution, most people will get become
Yeah.
achieve this proficiency around 1 to 2 years, which is a blue belt, so on and so
Yes.
forth.
And this
So
is the thing, if
then,
you have 20 guys in the room,
yeah,
majority of those guys can just follow that path. Everyone kind of knows.
yeah. So then are you proposing something like that for judo? Like, oh,
Well, so this is the thing, right? If you follow the white, yellow, green path,
yeah,
to get to blue,
yeah,
right? Get to that intermediate rank, you've already done enough time, right? Because you have these stripes, you
right,
have these things. There's a little bit more time in between the moment you get from white to blue, right? So
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
should know what a blue belt should kind of feel like. And this way, you divvy up the divisions a little bit more in competition. Some competitions have a brown belt only division. Some competitions have like a novice division, which
Right.
is green and below, and then advanced. That's it. I feel like if every competition did this, white, yellow, green,
Yeah.
purple, brown, and then black like this, then there's no risk of you going against a guy who's been doing judo for 10 years who's a green belt.
Yeah. That's
You know
a,
what I mean?
that's a waste of time, I guess, for everyone.
Too risky, yeah. So,
Wait, so then what would be the time for a blue belt in your scheme?
I mean, around the same. That's the thing.
Oh,
It's like,
oh, like 2 years?
I'm like trying to align some of the, because the rank system in jiu-jitsu is a lot cleaner, I feel
Right.
like, right? And it's more consistent.
Yeah.
Every single jiu-jitsu school has white, blue, purple, brown, black, dark.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And yes, purple belts from this school, that school, they're
They're
different.
different. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you say I'm a purple belt, and then okay, he is again as a freaking purple, you know where he is.
Yeah.
Judo,
Yeah.
you don't fucking.
Right. Right.
I mean,
Well, okay. So then, but then that means like it'll take like 10 years to get a black belt, just like in BJJ?
not necessarily. Because like I said before, right? White, yellow, green, getting those stripes. Sometimes it's time, sometimes it's merit. It's like that inconsistent random rewarding system.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So there is a bare minimum of within this time period, the most amount of time that it'll take
Yeah.
within getting these sort of not multipliers, but like extra stripes.
Yeah.
It reduces the overall time for you to get to.
Right.
And then if you follow this path, you should be able to beat and do well at some of these competitions. It's a truly beginner division.
Yeah.
If it's unified across the, the globe.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the United States.
Right.
So
Right.
people are much more likely to go, right? And then if you go to a competition, hey man, I know it was very scary for Joe to go to this competition. Just want to reward him. He's an extra stripe. He won this thing. Oh, even if he didn't win, he fought with a lot of heart. I just want to recognize that here's a stripe. Jimmy Pedro's system had this like excellent stripe, goal setting stripes. Taekwondo does all this stuff. You get like, different
the
color
patches,
stripes for
whatever.
everything. And then you get this many stripes, you get patches. And
Yeah.
that sort of extrinsic reward system, I think if you overdo it, it's silly. It's too
Yeah.
gimmicky. But some people love that shit.
Yeah.
It's like collecting little awards. It's like
Yeah.
Boy Scouts. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I sold this many cookies. I get this freaking stripe. Everyone show.
Right.
Even in football, when I played football in high school, it was like, all right, if you get a tackle, you get a little sticker on your head, on your helmet. If you get a sack, you get like a skull sticker on your head.
What? Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
The QB or something like that. So like, and even like in my high school for wrestling, if you got a pin, if you pin someone in wrestling, you get a physical safety pin under your name on your Letterman's jacket.
Oh.
Dude, I had 27 in one season one time.
I didn't get any of those.
Yeah. You never pinned anybody?
Yeah, maybe. No, I did pin people, but I never got those pins. Yeah.
If you text someone, you get a pin, safety pin with a T.
Oh, I would like to. I think the tech pin. I want the tech pin more
I
than.
had 27 pins in one season one time.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
And girls would come and like run their fingers up and down.
Wow.
Like,
I'm like,
wow, you have so many pins.
We should have pins for judo too.
Yeah. No, but some people love that shit.
Yeah.
Some people love it. And then, if they do, right, this is more power to them. I'm just trying to like devise a system to make judo more sticky for the beginner. Really.
I see. It's more. I think the key point is the beginner stripes. Yeah.
And the guy does judo for 6 months. He loves it. He's like, I want to compete. It's like, when you go into a novice division,
it's like
you don't know who you're gonna get, man. I'm telling you might get a guy that's been doing judo for 7 years.
Yeah.
But in this way, if everyone follows the system, white, yellow, green, bang, then now all of a sudden everyone's sort of in the same playing field.
So you don't really have an idea on like, how many years would take for a person to get a blue belt or purple belt like BJJ.
Well, this is the thing, right? If someone's a super athlete coming in, like for instance,
or like I'm talking about on average, like the average Joe, right smack in the middle of the bell curve.
Right smack in the middle of the curve. I don't know, man. 2 years Till blue. Same as jiu-jitsu, man. Just copying jiu-jitsu now. That's what,
Oh,
that's what we gotta
dude.
do. That's what we gotta do. Jiu-jitsu's doing good.
Ah,
Let's copy them. Let's do what they're doing.
but then that it takes a long time to get a black belt then. Because like my sense is that black belt in BJJ would be almost like, the teaching degree in judo. Usually I know in Korea and Japan, fourth degree is a teaching degree.
How about this? 5 to
Yeah.
10 years to black belt. That's it. 5, 10 years. If you're super athlete, you get 5.
5. You think
Done.
I would have gotten it in 5? Because Shodan was like pretty easy to get.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is the thing, right? Every place is different. In Japan,
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
they give it out to middle school kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
middle school kids that are competing like they're
Yeah.
kids, middle school kids. You know what I mean? So compared to like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, completely different.
Right. Right.
So
So more calibration. I mean, I was
Yeah.
just the point of confusion for me was that like what's the year, like for average person what would it take?
But does that really matter? People ask me this all the time, like, "Hey, how long is it going to take until you get a black belt?" And the answer is it freaking depends on you, man. You know what I mean? There's a huge range. I think the shortest ever in my dojo was like 3 years till I got a black belt. My dad would give out white, yellow, green to brown on like 3-month intervals. Boom, boom, boom. And then when you got the brown belt, you had to compete for your rank. We had a promotional tournament.
Right.
Remember that? And it happened every 6 months. So you go out there and you beat a certain number of guys in a row, you get an immediate promotion. There's 3 levels of brown at this thing.
Yeah.
3 levels of brown, right?
Takes a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you win it was 2 in a row, 3 in a row, 3 in a row. Within 18 months, you could go from lowest brown to black. So theoretically, under the system, you could get a judo black belt in under 3 years.
Yeah.
And we had a guy he was a freak athlete, dude.
Yeah.
He was savage. He was a monster. And he just came in, loved martial arts, did it as many times as possible, came to the dojo every day, and just.
So you're also proposing that we do away with this promotional tournaments, right?
The Q grade system gets confusing, I think.
Yeah.
First Q, San Q, this, that, then you get the Shodan, Nidan, Sandan, all this stuff kind of get a little bit confusing. You kind of like keep that.
Yeah.
I think so. But within
the
this
tournaments,
system,
we can keep the tournament, you mean?
I don't even want to say Qs anymore, man. It's just too confusing for most people. There's too much Japanese jargon, and I'm a little bit of a traditionalist. I want to keep a lot of this terminology for sure.
Yeah.
But you should know what Q is, what belt. Right?
Oh no, I'm talking about promotional tournaments.
Yeah, it's all intermediate. Getting to you could do this. You could have a blue, purple, brown division. You could do that Sankyo, Nikyu, EQ like that too. You could do that as well.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, competition. All blue belts compete in it. If you win 2 in a row, like in a row back to back, you get purple.
Well, okay.
I think that's can be doable too.
I see.
Be amended to that, but it really needs like sort of the cooperation of everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone buying into the system to do it. So if you guys are listening to this, if you have ideas, let me know. I know a lot of you guys are watching on YouTube, so comment below what you think, how we can do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are gaps in my ideas because it's something I literally came up with 20 minutes before we recorded this. But the ideas I've always had. And, little by little, I'm kind of doing this thing now, right? I don't like this promotional ceremony where everybody comes up one at a time and I'm like handing out belts and this and that and this and that.
Right.
I don't like that. So I've been doing kind of like just walking around with stripes. All right. June is promotion month. You got to come in June and then, if you're kind of up for it, I'll just walk over and give it to you. Right. I've been doing that. Pulling guys and say, hey, can you go put this on?
I see.
That I like that better than like lining everyone up, all right, one by one, calling everyone's like, is it going to be my turn? Is it gonna call my name? And it's just like a huge letdown component.
Yeah. Like if you don't get called up.
Get called up. This way it's like white, yellow, green stripes, Stripe City. Walking around with stripes, bang, 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 just putting it on people's belts, People are very excited about it. And the intermediate level guys get, blue, purple, brown. Those belts mean something in the greater scope of martial arts.
Yeah.
Right?
I see.
I don't really know what karate does, but like, it's blue, purple. Judo and jiu-jitsu they're very similar grappling sports.
Right.
It's okay to have some crossover, branding. It's completely fine. more and more
Yeah,
people
yeah,
are
I
gonna
do.
start cross training.
Yeah, if it works,
You know?
works
Yeah.
well. BJJ is doing well in America, so yeah, why not, right?
I
Like,
would love to do
yeah,
that with like right, you join the dojo, you can't do either or. You have to be proficient standing and ground.
yeah,
And the ranking system is designed in a way where, you have to be, in order to be a blue belt, you have to be proficient in jujitsu and judo. It's a
yeah.
dual belt. Purple belt. It's a dual belt. You're a judo
Ah,
purple belt and jujitsu purple belt. Like I would
mm,
love that. That's kind of like ideal for me.
I see.
Because then your Nawaz is good, your Tachiwas is good. And then you could do Muay Thai at another gym somewhere.
Just pump
Kick
off
to
some
the head.
UFC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think? Okay, this is totally random.
Yeah.
So we talked about judo and BJJ,
No.
but wrestling doesn't have this.
Yeah.
No, like, would it help? Because
Oh,
like
wrestling?
I know there's. I remember in high school they had JV tournaments, but like I guess they have JV varsity, but that's kind of
Mm.
like what judo is right now in a way. Maybe it doesn't make sense because I've always wondered because maybe then we would have more hobbyist wrestlers. Because you have to
Yeah.
right now you have to go through the school system.
Kind of do, yeah. Hobbyist wrestling gyms, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely make it more sticky, right? If you're like doing PB wrestling, you're in middle school, you're just going in there and just getting
yeah,
your head spiked into the floor, as opposed to like having a belt structure that you can look forward to, like, oh, if I did something good, the coach will recognize and give me a stripe.
yeah,
If I stay in it long enough, I'll get rewarded with a yellow belt or whatever it is. Like, it'll definitely make wrestling more sticky, I think. It'll keep kids in it.
yeah.
You know,
I
I think there's a fine line, like I said, like getting a dragon patch or a tiger patch, like embroidered onto your jacket lapel because you went to this many classes. I think that's a little bit yucky.
right. Yeah,
But like having sort of this belt structure that kind of denotes, hey, this is your
yeah,
rank. And, I'm more of a skill based guy, right? Like I want to, and, coming from a guy that has a red and white belt, right? And that's done all the bureaucratic things to
yeah.
get this rank also, but I could have easily neglected that and still have been a first degree black also.
Right, right.
I mean, so then like, where is, the validation? And then it's just like me doing it. It's like, show me that you're really good and you can show it. But after a certain age, you can't really show it anymore. You can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
2 knee replacements or whatever. Now you're incapable of actually doing it. And now all you got left is nothing. I mean, like you just got your showdown and there. I used to be really good. Maybe there's footage of you something we're doing. I mean, and I'm telling you, one of the things that my dad said when we're talking about like red belt, it's like,
yeah. Oof.
yeah, it's like, what is that? He's like, yeah, your Harai. I was a Harai Goshi guy. Your Harai Goshi's gone and what's left over.
Oh,
Fucking red
that's
belt, dude. It's like, it was like so grim. I was like,
yeah,
oh, like, yeah, it's what's left over after you can't do this shit anymore.
yeah.
I'm like,
I
oh,
remember. Yeah, I remember that. I remember
it's
him
when your
saying that.
Harai is gone. He said, when my Harai is gone, that's what's left.
Oh man.
It's a fucking red belt
Yeah.
wrapped around my gi.
Some poetic elements to it.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, kind of poetic. It was kind
Yeah.
of deep too.
Yeah. Well, all right. So these Shintaro proposed some things, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on how to improve judo's belt system to make it sticky for beginners, so that we can grow the sport. Yeah. Cool.
And there's a place for intermediates and such.
Yeah.
I love how you were like, what problem are you solving? And I'm like, wow.
There is a problem. I mean, I guess
There's a problem. Yeah, there's a problem. Judo, people not doing.
Yeah.
More people need to be doing judo.
And through this dialogue, maybe we'll zero in on the specifics of the problems better. and
Comment on
solutions
YouTube,
too.
guys, please,
Yeah.
because that's where we, get these ideas and have a discussion. Maybe on Reddit, people.
Yeah,
there's a
post
lot
on
of guys,
Reddit,
so-
and then if you want to have a more direct conversation with us, support us on Patreon and join our Discord. Yeah, a lot of people have active debates about a lot of things, judo, BJJ, and everything else. So, all
You
right,
know how you post on the Reddit sometimes?
yeah,
Can we like devise like critical thinking, discussion based questions at the top? So people will immediately start.
oh yeah,
Maybe that could be a good way to like get the discussion going.
some engagement. Yeah, I'll start doing it that way.
That could be good. That way it's like, and then maybe I'll chime in. But
you have to chime in.
this is the thing, right? I might have like made weird comments on other people's shit on Reddit, so I don't want to like out myself on Reddit. You know what I mean?
Well, you make a new account then.
Yeah,
For
I might
this
have to do
purpose.
that. That's true. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, that's about it for rethinking the bell system. And anything else?
That's it.
All
Thank
right.
you, guys.
All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.